You know, in football, you win by being better than the competition in fundamentals. You win by being tougher mentally and physically, by being better in blocking and tackling. In the same way in your business, folks, you've got to be better in the fundamentals, okay? And let me give you 10 fundamentals now you've got to continue to work on to master the sales business. Number one, you've got to have a passion about what you do. Folks, if your business is just a job, just a way to make money, then folks, you're going to fail. You're not going to do anything big. You've got to have an unbelievable passion about what you're doing. Every single winner, no exceptions, folks, every single winner I studied in A.O. Williams, the one thing they all had, the secret, was a passion. They had an unbelievable passion about what they did. See, Prudential sold life insurance to make a living. I sold life insurance to correct an injustice. And always remember another unwritten law, folks, crusaders die hard. Number two, you've got to be able to give your winning presentation now anywhere at any time. You know, in a restaurant, you've got to be able to reach over and grab a napkin and be able to give your passion presentation on a napkin. I've been, you know, at places where I just had a newspaper. You know, it's the only thing I had. You know, I'd get my newspaper, I'd find a little open spot on the paper, and I'd bring my pen out and I'd give my presentation. I've been in a basketball game. I would take the program that I'd buy as I go through the game. You know, I'd be sitting up with a visiting coaching friend of mine, and I'd give him a presentation, you know, 5 or 10 minutes, you know, on the back of a brochure. So you can be given, you know, with a pen and just a scratch pad is, I think, the best way a real pro that knows what he's talking about, if you want to really impress and disturb and sell the sizzle to your prospect, man, to take a blank sheet of paper and be able to paint a picture on it, to me, that's the ultimate in being a real stud in this business. Also, you can give your presentation in a real formal, beautiful presentation piece. Just remember that the key principle is the first 10 minutes, your sale is going to be made or lost. And once you go through and you give the passion presentation, you disturb the client, you sell the sizzle, you've reached inside and grabbed his heart, you know, he really knows that you're doing something different and something special, then you can go take a more formal presentation now and really go through and talk about the products and the systems and the company and anything else you might wish to cover. Number three, I believe in a 3-step interview process. The first step, you don't make a sale on the first interview. You're only there to explain your program, to educate them on the value of what you're there to talk about. You know, you take a very low key, get your hands off your pocketbook. I'm not here to say anything. I want to compete for your business. If I can't give you more value, if I can't cut your costs, if I can't dramatically improve your program, I don't deserve your business. Folks, I'm telling you, that old golden rule, you know, do unto others as you would have them do unto you, that stuff really works, okay? By going into a home and taking, you know, a low-key, no pressure, not here to make you a sale, folks, I think you wind up getting into more homes, you wind up making more sales, you wind up making bigger sales, your quality of business is better, you get more recruits, you get more referrals, everything is better. So on the first interview, I'm there to disturb the prospect, I'm there to sell the sizzle, then tell him about my company, educate him on the value of what I'm there to talk about, and then I pick up information, I go back, I do a complete analysis, I go back and explain to him how he benefits from my program. I've saved him tons of money. I've given him a lot more value. Then I get this check on the second interview with the application. Then I go back the third time to deliver his program once he's been approved and explain everything to him again. Folks, you know, there's no quick way to build a successful business, you know. You've got to do it inch by inch. It's a cinch, okay? And you've got to spend that time with that client. So I believe number three in a 3-step interview process. Number 4, folks, sales is a commitment business. If you go into a home and you're talking to a prospect now and you leave without getting a commitment, I want you to know the odds of you ever making that sale has been dramatically reduced, okay? When you go in there, that first 5 or 10 minutes, you know, you're going to disturb that prospect, you're going to sell the sizzle of what you're doing, Then if you've made that sale, then you've reached in there and grabbed his heart, you've made that sale, then you're going to go ahead now and explain to him a little bit more then about your products, your services, your company, and whatnot, okay? Now, folks, while he's on an emotional high right there, you've got to get a commitment, okay? So on the first interview, your commitment's going to be get those life insurance policies for an analysis. I'm going to get maybe some more financial information, okay, on some kind of data sheet, you know, so I can talk to him about his investment program, okay? But I'm not going to leave there with him thinking about giving me that kind of stuff, okay? My first interview, I'm not going for a check, I'm not going to make a sale, but my commitment is going to be just as good, okay? If I pick up those policies or I pick up some kind of data sheet, folks, over 2 million people, over 25 years in this business proves to me that's just as good as closing that sale as getting a check, but it is a million times easier, okay? But sales is a commitment business. On the second interview, I'm going to take my plan back. I'm going to show him how I change his life, okay? And I'm going to get the application and the check. I'm not going to leave there with him thinking about it, okay? This ain't horseshoes, folks. You don't help him and you don't make any money unless you get the commitment and make the sale, okay? And then step number 3, when I go back on the third interview, then I'm going to carry his program after it's been approved, and I'm going to explain to him the value of the whole program. All along that way, though, folks, those 3 interviews, I'm going to be talking to him about recruiting. I'm going to be talking to him about referrals, okay? And so I'm really building a long relationship with that client. I know it seems like you're spending a lot of time with him, but folks, that time pays off. Sales is a commitment business. Number 5, folks, you got to be excited. People won't buy from or believe in a negative, dull, disillusioned, frustrated, dadgum crybaby. Folks, don't ever forget the difference between a $100,000 a year salesperson and a $10,000 a year salesperson is the way you feel about what you do. Folks, your excitement just has to ooze out of your dadgum body. You know, people that see negative, people that just sort of go through the motions, you know, it just repels people. People just want to get away from those kind of miserable, kind of old people, you know. But a salesperson that's electrified, that's excited, they're just like a dadgum magnet, okay? People can just smell if you're for real. Number 6, folks, you got to work hard. Remember the unwritten law? You beat 50% of whoever you're competing against by just working hard. If you work hard long enough, you're going to beat 50% of the people. You beat another 40% just by trying to live right. Not perfect. They don't make no people like that, okay? But you beat 90% of the people out there you're competing against if you work hard and just try to live right. Just try to do things right, okay? But, folks, you've got to remember you've got to work hard at doing the important things. And in the sales business, the only 2 things that really count is you get paid to prospect and you get paid to make new presentations, okay? I talk about administration, training, shooting the bull with your people. Those things to me are like killing time. Now, folks, you have to spend some time on administration, some time on training, but folks, I'm flat telling you, you better work hard at the things that make you money, the things that make a difference in your business, and that's prospecting and new presentations. And my motto I used in my personal life in A.O. Williams is you recruit by day. That's when you prospect. I don't know why it is, but it's so easy to go talk to somebody about an opportunity, but it's hard to talk to somebody about let you come sell them something, okay? So I would prospect during the day and I would make my new presentations at night. My motto was I recruit by day and I sell by night. Number 7, referrals. Referrals, folks, are the lifeblood of your business. Now, I spent 25 years in sales. I worked with over 2 million salespeople, folks, and I didn't know one person, not one single human being that made it big by cold calling, by making a living on an old cold telephone, talking to strangers, by knocking on doors to strangers, by going in strangers' homes and trying to sell them something. Folks, I'd rather dig ditches than cold call for a dadgum living, okay? The only time you want to cold call is if you have no referrals, you're just totally out of business, okay? Or if you've got limited number of referrals and you just want to go out there and talk to a lot of people in a short period of time, and then folks, once you make a sale or once you recruit somebody and you get referrals, then you get out of the cold calling business, okay? the best referral that you'll ever get is a new recruit. Now in my business, we could recruit people part-time, and let me tell you, when I recruited somebody, 4 things he did for me, okay? Number 1, he was a client. He personally bought my concept, and so he was a believer in what I was all about, okay? Then number 2, he gave me a list of 10 to 15 of his best friends. I built my business on my clients' best friends, okay? And so these were people that he had a special kind of relationship with. Number 3, my new recruit would call those friends on the phone and set up the appointment. Every salesperson's biggest nightmare is having to get to the kitchen table with a qualified prospect, okay? Because people don't want to buy nothing and they don't want to let you come in their home and sell them anything, okay? And so to have a referral, call his best friend and get you in that home, that is so priceless, I can't even tell you what that's worth, okay? But I know you know. And the 4th thing a new recruit gave to me, not only did he buy the product, not only did he give me his best friend's name, not only did he call the best friend to set up an appointment, but he would go with me to that friend's home. So I never went into a stranger's home, okay? You can't exist long range. You can't make it on an old cold telephone or out there knocking on doors. Number 8, you've got to learn to manage activity. Now folks, see if this makes sense to you. You can't put a gun to somebody's head and say, you're going to buy my product or I'm going to blow your brains out, okay? You can't force people to buy your product. The 2 things you can do though is you can offer a service or a product that's good for people out there. You've got a responsibility to do that. And then number 2, you can go offer that. If it's a good product or service that has some value, then you can go offer that to everybody you see, okay? That's all you can do. And then everybody, every piece of flesh out there that's selling something, folks, if you sell a product that has value or you sell a service that has value, somebody's going to buy your product. Everybody has a ratio if you just take the message out there and do passion selling in an enthusiastic way, okay? Everybody has a ratio. Let me just give you an example. Let's say you have to make 2 presentations to make 1 sale to make $200, okay? 2 presentations to make 1 sale to make $200. You can't force that guy to buy your product, okay? All you can do is go do what's right and offer your product or service in an enthusiastic way. If you do that 2 times, let's say 1 person's going to buy. Everybody's got a ratio. It might be 3 to 1, okay? Or 4 to 1 or 1.5 to 1, okay? But everybody's got a ratio. Let's say though what I tried to get my guys at A.O. Williams to believe in is you make 2 presentations, you make 1 sale, and let's say that gave you $200 in income. And let's say you wanted to make $1,000 a week in income, so that required you to make 10 presentations, would give you 5 sales, would give you $1,000 in income a week, okay? Now the only thing you can control, folks, are those new presentations, making those 2 new presentations a day, 5 days a week, 10 presentations, okay? Now let's say 1 week you made 5 sales, but you only made 5 presentations, okay? You just had an unbelievable streak, okay? And you made $1,000. Then folks, the law of averages is going to catch up with you, okay? The next week you might make 10 presentations and make no sales and no income. It's just like Babe Ruth, you know, every time he had to go up and strike out 2 times, okay, to hit 1 home run. Now folks, he might go up and hit 3 home runs in a row. But then folks, he's going to go strike out 6 times in a row sometime, okay? Make sure, don't let sales and income fool you. You can't manage that. You can't require people to buy your product, okay? All you can do is go out and offer your service or offer your products to people, okay? Manage your activity. Control your new presentations. Fundamental number 9, reward and punishment. Folks, there's an unwritten law in sales that losing can become a habit, okay? If you lose, see if this makes sense to you, folks. If you're going along and you win a couple of games, okay, and you lose, folks, if you don't change something you're doing when you lose, doesn't it make sense that you're going to continue to lose? Does that make sense? And so in football, you know, I had what I call a reward and punishment program that I told our kids at Thursday at our victory meeting before we played on Friday night, that if we had a great offensive game and we beat a team by 21 points, or we won and had a great defensive effort and held a team scoreless, we'd go out in shorts on Monday and reward ourselves, go out in shorts and just, you know, loosen up and just have a good, easy, loosening up, fun kind of practice. If we won, but we didn't beat them by 21 points, or we let them score on us, we had to get better, and so we went out Monday and we punished ourselves and we went in pads. If we lost around my place, we went to work on Saturday. We came back and worked on Saturday because, man, we were going to get a head start and we were not going to lose again, okay? Losing can become a habit. And it's the same way in sales. Folks, if you have a goal of, let's say, making 10 sales a week on your team, okay? And you make 10 sales this week and 10 sales next week, but then you make 8 sales. And then you come back and make 10 sales, and then you make 7 sales. Then you make 10 sales, you make 8 sales. Folks, you're on your way out of business, okay? If your goal is to make 10 sales, let's say you go along and you make 10 sales, and then my reward was to spend the weekend with my family, okay? I like to screw off like everybody, okay? So I'd work hard Monday through Friday, and if I had my goal, my goals were accomplished, I'd take off Saturday and Sunday. So if I made 10 sales, I rewarded myself, took the weekend off. If I made, let's say, 8 sales, then folks, immediately I was going to do something different. I would work on Saturday, I would work on Sunday afternoon, and I would try to see more people the next week, and I wouldn't try to come back now and just make 10 sales to get back on course. I'd try to make 12 sales to get my 10 sales of that week and make those sales up, okay? You've got to operate on a reward and punishment system in sales. When you're not doing good, you've got to punish yourself, okay? And when you're doing good, reward yourself. The last fundamental I'd like to talk to you about is always play scared. Folks, in the free enterprise system, somebody is always trying to knock you off. They're always trying to come up with a better product or a better way, okay? And you got to always play scared. You get up every morning scared and you go to bed every night scared, okay? And you know, I learned this principle in Dallas, Texas first, and I've since then learned it in a lot of other cities, okay? But let me tell you what I found out. There was one year out there that we had an RVP, a vice president in our company, that was paid $500,000. That same year, another vice president in Dallas, Texas was paid $50,000. And I looked at those two individuals and everything seemed to be the same. They were the same sex, the same age, they worked in the same city, the same state, they worked in the same company, they had the same contract, the same products, the same commissions. Everything seemed to be the same. And I looked a little bit different. I say, why does one have superstar success, makes $500,000, and one make $50,000? I found out that both of them were good people, both of them were winners, they both worked hard, they both were loyal to the company, they were good to their people, they did everything you're supposed to. But one made 500 and one made 50, so I looked a little bit deeper. And I found out that the $500,000 a year person did everything he's supposed to and a little bit more. He worked hard a little bit more. He saved money a little bit more. He was good to his people a little bit more. Folks, if you want to win in sales on this earth, you better always play scared. You better get up playing scared, and you better go to bed every night playing scared. And you can't ever do enough. You got to always make one more call. Always make one more presentation. Always make one more sale than you think you have to have. Always recruit one more person. Always get one more referral than you think you got to have, because before you know it, you're going to hit a dry spell out there, okay? Always play scared.